not the discounted rate of sale. And what's most troublesome that myself and every resident that's sitting in here, even a resident that unfortunately was moved out of their home across 14 parcels on a 153rd and Myrtle, or another resident that's received a ticket for a $500 ticket for nothing because they said she whispered, I couldn't, no one heard it. I mean, and it's so these multitude of issues that we're facing, and we're highlighting that, but we've never ever took a deep, long look into this whole financially distressed piece. So, like I said, it was mind blowing on October the 27th that we would sell 9 parcels of land, and even at that point, not disclose to the city how much profit and revenue we took heed to. And so that has led us to where we are today. You know, the month of November, there were no meetings. There was supposed to be a meeting November 8th, and there was supposed to be another meeting November the 22nd. And we got no correspondence about why those meetings were canceled. Even leading up until today at this very moment, we had a business open, a new dispensary open up today in Harvey, which is great, but another piece of like, why weren't the city council involved in this brand new opening? A lot of this looks like non-transparency. And if I had to probably been hidden away from our financial landscape, which I have a lot of the financial documents of the city laid here on the table. So tonight, the hopeful goal is to learn about the finances from some finance extraordinaires who have taken the details of our financial structure and pieced it out so that it can be a breakdown of understanding. Again, I'm grateful to have our treasurer, our city treasurer here. This is Ms. Aisha Pickett. Grateful to have our fourth ward alderman Tracy Key and a host of longtime Harvey residents who are just trying to understand the why. And so just going back, we, like I said, we call for financially distressed city law. We called for this on Monday, October the 16th. The last time that happened was in like 1995 in East St. Louis. And as we know today in 2026, they're still recovering. And with that just happening 30 years ago, I mean, so much has changed in the world around finances, around the way in which municipalities are structured. So as we know it, the financially distressed city law allows for the creation of a financial advisory authority. The FAA, which is overseen by the governor, appoints 3 people to oversee our finances. And the financial advisory authority for a distressed home rule municipality, which is a city, village, or unincorporated township with more than 25,000. We're negative 6,000 of that. We have about 19,000 residents. So every time we go to vote, we have to vote for home rule. Typically, those with over 25,000 residents already have a home rule status. The financial advisory authority has the power to reject loans, budgets, and contracts, and otherwise over the city's finances. In other words, the buck stops with them. Well, why did we unanimously vote for this on Thursday, October the 16th? I feel like we had no choice. Sitting next to one of the longest serving alderpersons in the 4th Ward, with non-transparency, vagueness on the finances, not understanding how many bank accounts we have, our city treasurer is never allowed to even speak at the meetings. This only seems like the most advantageous thing for us to do is to allow someone to oversee our finances. But to date, there hasn't been a projected timeline or an opportunity for us to really delve into what exactly happens next, when in which this money, if not appointed, that the FAA will step in. How does that affect our governance from a home rule standpoint? Do we still have a mayor, alderpersons, treasurer, clerk? Like, what really happens? And again, just looking at what happened in East St. Louis 30 years ago, that was 30 years ago. It's just a whole new way of inner workings within the municipality. And right now we have a public crisis. As Mr. Freeman mentioned on yesterday's news, fire breaking out in these below temps with, less than 10 men on the staff. I mean, we're putting their lives at risk as well. And so what does that say to the residents when we're putting the individuals' lives at risk who are intended to save us? We've been left in the dark about that. it was just in April we had a major layoff. Why then did the discussion not come up about what was to come for the future so people could best prepare, especially SNAP benefits have been cut. People are preparing for the holidays. So 86.4% is the tax increase, and those are due on December the 15th. So what is our best measure? To date, like I said, we've had no detail, no correspondence. And so today is almost a demand to the city to step up, do something about our current state, be as bold as possible about correspondence, and allow the city to really thrive in transparency. Because at this point, the secret is out. We're broke and we need help. So I'm going to turn it over now to Alderman Key, Treasurer Pickett to speak. And then we're going to jump into the budget that was prepared to complete a FOIA, right? Even if all of us together put in the same FOIA, what's often happening, I know Ryan can attest to this, is that you put these FOIAs in and then it always comes back, it's too burdensome. Well, if 10 people are putting in the same FOIA, I don't know how it would be considered burdensome if we all want to know the same information. So we're just hopeful to gather something so that we can go into the 2026 year with just 4 months left in the 25-26 fiscal year with some real understanding on how we move forward in the 26-27 fiscal year. So I'll turn it over now to, would you want Alderman Key? Okay. All right. Thank you, Alderman Key.
Thank you, David. Okay, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody nice and warm out there today. We're trying to do the best, and thank everybody for coming. I want to commend, Alderwoman Chapman for all the efforts that she's put in and all the efforts that she considered, and that she always is around. We people that just care, and what we need right now is people that genuinely care. Looking back on I've been alderman for like close to 8 years now, and it's basically just been just a bunch of chaos, non-transparency, and not working together, on doing things. And I'm the one always trying. I don't go along with everything, but I just go with the right thing. God just put me in the right direction, so I stay in that way no matter what anybody has to say. And I'm always able to explain myself. This financial situation, it's been over a year ago. Me and Alderwoman Chapman was on the finance committee, and I guess we were just asking, simple question: what did you spend that $100 on? Just usually small amounts, things like that, or any ways alternative. And we will never get the answers that we need. I asked that the finance chairman, Tyrone Rogers, if he can stand up, then if he can't stand up, to stand down. He's in charge of the finance committee. He had us removed from the finance committee over a year ago, and here we are now, a year ago, with all this has happened. So just explain that. Just explain that to me, what I was doing, what Alderwoman Chapman was doing. What was our treasurer doing? Just explain us, and we all good enough people to explain. We messed up, but you can't say that. But I'm still gonna always keep that team concept. We're still aldermen, we're still on the same team. The council, we're still on the same team, same level, and that's how we're supposed to work. But this is not a blame game, and what I feel is that if you already in debt, you get the power. You should not spend excessive money if you already know. Just using a small example, if you have a $7,000 credit card and that somebody gives to you because you took over their credit, you already have $5,000 in debt. So if you only have $2,000, why are you steady spending over that $2,000 and more, and you don't even try to get the $5,000 deficit down? I don't understand how the concept is going, but we just trying to get communication, with our people, and let people know that we do genuinely care. We're concerned. We didn't think that it was going to happen like this on this automatic magnitude. If you get paid and you get your paycheck, you know how much money you make. And when you know how much money you make, you compare that to your bills and then determine what you have left over. So you should know when you run out of money. So I don't understand why this has been such a surprise. we're not trying to cause some trouble. We're just doing our job, you know, put it that way. It's just so hard to do your job, but we never stop being ourselves. And we just want to let the community know that we are trying, and it's like really up to us. This is our city. We have to take our city back. I don't know nobody higher up that I can talk to and be able to say, we're gonna look into this. I don't know why this happening, you know, how the concept is, but it's not being transparent enough, and that's from everybody higher on up. You know, everybody has to take accountability. You know, so we're here to just give y'all insight, and we definitely need y'all input, because we need to see how y'all feel. We need for y'all to see what we're out here fighting for, and for y'all to tell us, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe you should do it, and we're gonna listen to you. Give us your input, and we can say, well, we can't do this, or we can't do that, or we're gonna try to do that. But sending out the FOIA information, you get enough residents that are put, just say we had 15 or 20 residents that put in a FOIA information for the same thing, they don't have to get the same excuse to everybody. That's different than one person coming in and getting the information. Now you got 20 people you got to battle with that you ain't did, which is against the law, like in the first place. But I wish nothing but the best for my city. That's why I became alderman, because I want to be part of this. And this is a hard situation, but I feel I'm built for the job. I feel that Alderwoman Chapman, Treasurer Aisha, you know, we built for the job, and basically because we care, because I'm only speaking on what my residents tell me, you know. And I also have spirits inside of me, of my residents that are not here anymore. Still, she done passed away, still waiting on that vacant property next door to be torn down. Still waiting to get these potholes fixed. Still waiting to get street lights fixed. And they're not even here no more. Excuse me. But their spirit lives inside of me. And every time I pass by the house, pass by the area, see my residents, I see people that want answers. And for people to not give you answers, and I don't want to come to my own conclusion, because we're starting rooms, I want to be professional. I want to know facts. I want to know exactly what I'm talking about. I want people to know exactly what I'm trying to do. But basically, that's what I'm trying to do, is just fight for the people, all the people. And it's not just one ward. You cannot have a mentality that you're just looking out for your ward. I live over here in the 4th ward. Alderwoman Cole Chapman lives over here in the 2nd ward. She has residents that have family in my ward. I have residents in her ward. In every single ward we got, so we all in this together. You know, so your input matters a whole lot, and just thank you for the opportunity. And Aisha, is she ready yet? You almost ready? This is a great woman. She's really been trying, and I think she's built for the job. So with that being said, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief. I did not have anything formally prepared. Wasn't expecting this, but I want to first thank all the persons for getting this together and giving us the opportunity to speak to the residents and take questions and answer questions to the best of our ability. I also want to thank the residents who did show up. We appreciate you guys coming out. We appreciate you consistently asking questions and holding us accountable. We do not run from it. We accept it, and we try to do our best to take on that responsibility that we have been entrusted with. My tenure as a treasurer has not been the easiest. As they mentioned before, there are things that I don't necessarily have access to, so it makes my job it makes my job very difficult. And then when you're met with things, when you try to work with what you have to give the people some type of information, and you're basically shut down, or as they say, muted, or basically told you can't tell that information, it becomes a little bit discouraging. And it also becomes, it feels like I'm being hidden from the public. So I'm an elected official. I was chosen by the people, and it has been my goal to serve as an elected official. I don't feel like this is I'm higher or than anyone or anything like that. I am a servant. So in my position, I've been trying to serve. I have been, since I've been elected, I've been going to different trainings and things like that to better learn my situation, my position, to better learn what it is that I'm supposed to do as a treasurer. I was recently certified as an Illinois Municipal Treasurer. It was announced at one of the meetings, but it was kind of, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah. And been taught to try to pay attention to what I am supposed to be counting. So it has been my goal to serve. I'm hoping that with this current situation, maybe some things will turn around and things will be, I'm hoping that things will be more open. They'll be more willing to work with us because we are willing to do the work. We just need some little cracks in the door. We don't even need the whole window or the whole door open. Just give us a little bit and we'll work with what we got. I think that's all I got. I don't want to talk too much and ramble on, but again, thank you guys for coming and we appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys.
No, thank you.
Right on. Thank you, Ms. Cookie. Thank you, Alderman Key. Now we'll turn right into, this is Ms. Glennis James Watson, a First Ward resident, and Ms. Amanda Askew, Fifth Ward resident, who have pretty much taken the finances across the 2025 year and really broken them down. So I'm going to move right over. Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You gotta go to the view. Go to the view and put it like 150%.
Well, the thing that I had did it with my fingertips, so. let me just, put it out.
Well, while she's doing that, I can maybe, so, I am, not the treasurer, but, I do, work in a professional capacity, with, budgets. And, so what I was able to do was to consolidate not all of the bills lists, because there were a few missing, but the bills list that I did have access to, I put into one spreadsheet, and I was able to, I'm able to kind of cull the, based on the departments and the funds and the departments, is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And, oh, okay. Right, so, let's see. And because there hasn't been any financial, information from the city, made available to the public, this data has been culled in spurts, so as the bills list come in, but anyway, so I'm saying all that to say this is not a true financial report, because first of all, there's no revenue. We don't know where the revenue streams are coming from. We don't know what the budget lines are. We don't know any of that information. The only thing I have is what's been spent as far as how they've reported what's been spent. So, again, there's no starting and ending balances, so it's just kind of a look at the money that has been expended, that they reported has been expended, and, again, I believe there's no way to find out if these funds have, totally been expensed, or if they're just on the books, like they haven't been paid yet. So there's really no way to know what our true financial situation is. And let me just see if I It's all. Well, I'm just trying to get it so I can manipulate it because I can't, see everything. Like I can't get to the that's why I don't like Google Sheets. I don't like Google Sheets. So like I need to get up so that I need that. Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I can. Thank you. Somewhere between. Okay, that's a little bit better. So, right. I should have.
I didn't see it.
Okay, well, so I do have a pivot table. I'm not gonna be able to give you totals, overall, but I'll just highlight some things that you might be interested to know what was expended. So, our general fund, I guess that's where they just kind of throw anything that's not categorized. Perfect, thank you. Okay. That, so, for one, our general fund, again, that includes pretty much anything, administration fees, refuse, builder deposits, builder deposit payables, and so, our first bills list, the first bills list that I have recorded for 2024, which was presented at that was presented at the 2024 February 24th meeting. It's reported that $1,109,232.52 was spent for that category of probably from January something to February something. So in that month, it was $1 million. For the second meeting that I have for April 28th.
They can't see you.
Oh, okay, I got you. Cool.
Okay. And for the,
Does that include payroll? That amount? Linda?
I'm assuming, you know what, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. No, it does not.
Okay.
No, okay. And, so in the second meeting, or the April 28th meeting, that fund spent $144,335.74. The next meeting was May 25th. It's reported $1,807,375.08. June meeting, this is again the general fund, $1,176,186 $176,186.89. The August list, for the general fund was $1,016,460.87. And the dates that I'm saying are the meeting dates, so because I don't have in front of me what dates those were, usually they are like, I think it was like,
Monthly bills.
well, yeah, but it would have been like November or September 18th through October 19th or something like that. So the date that I'm quoting is the meeting date that these were presented at or voted on. And so the October bill, October 27th meeting, $1,174,551.57. So, I mean, that's a lot just for the general fund. Something else you might be interested to know, and again, I wish I could have called these totals together. The legal expenses, that is Department 105. The February meeting,
I got it.
all right. Okay, so this should be a little bit easier. So we know that the legal department is 105. I'm sorry.
Was there a budget for 2024? And was legal a line item for that budget? Was there money allocated?
Well,
for the
that's just it, we don't
2024?
have the
So you
budget, we
don't know?
don't have the budget. I'm sure
Okay.
there had to have been, you know, Ms. Pickett can attest to, that. I can't, but I'm sure there had to have been. So, according to this spreadsheet, Department 105, for all of the meetings, that were had in 2025 thus far, looks like 15,081,049. I don't know if this is rounded or not, and $49. So $15 million has been spent in legal fees this year.
This
thus far.
year?
Do you
And that
know
could-
if the legal fees, when he did the challenges for NAPO is included in that total?
I
too?
have no idea. I mean, because
Okay.
this includes, I didn't break it down to the
Cause would that be
GL.
something that he can charge for if he's doing his own challenges?
I don't know. I didn't break it down to the department.
Okay.
I mean, to the GL account. So this is including every GL account under the 105 department. So some are classified as legal services, some are classified as general, collective bargaining, employee matters. So it's all rolled up into one lump
Right.
sum. So I couldn't tell you based
Couldn't
on this.
differentiate what it
And so
was.
none of those are settlement numbers, like if they
Right.
settled a lawsuit, that's not even included there.
Right.
These are
Talking about
working
paying
hours.
attorneys.
I beg your pardon?
These are working hours that were
Billable
billed.
hours.
Billed.
I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but it's under the
Wow, 15 years.
Department of Legal Fees. That's how they've classified them.
And we have about 3 different law firms. You know, we have Ansel
Yeah,
and Bling,
Ansel and Blink, Montana and Welch,
and Fioretti.
McGee, oh, that's a lawyer.
And do each one of them have, contracts with the village that specify what the costs are, like what they're charging
I
for?
wouldn't have access to that.
Yeah, they
Ms.
don't give
Pickett
them
may.
anything.
I don't have
They
access
haven't
to
seen
that.
financials in 7 years, so.
The only thing that we've ever received, ever, as it relates to our financial landscape, is the bill list. Anything further than that, when there's a request for invoices, a profit and loss statement, or just, for instance, the settlement agreement where these businesses are paying $30,000 a year to operate without a business license. None of that has ever been provided to us at large on like, this is what they're allocating to, or you know, this cost for this thing. We just see the bills list and it's voted on, and that's it, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Because other municipalities have the contract where they tell you, this is what we charge for this per hour. This is what we
Everybody
charge.
should, but
If we
they don't show it.
use a paralegal, this is what we charge for them to do something, but this is what we charge for us to do. So that way you know how you got to this $15 million anyway. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke, this is not, subtotaling, so let me go back and I will give you the total for the 105, I'm sorry, that's the grand total. That did seem high. So,
So it wasn't 15 million?
no, not from legal.
Okay.
Let me get that number.
Just from our bills list, which I'm gonna show a bills list, I'm gonna show the Monday, October 27th bills list. Yeah.
It's not a breakdown,
It's
like
not.
it's a, $1 million. There,
Check for clearance.
you don't know, they can't identify nothing, you don't know.
Get the numbers.
You don't even get a
And
description.
it may be like a copy and paste from years ago, 'cause, I mean, you never know, because it's just a bunch of numbers.
Okay, this is a big difference, if this is pulling the data correctly. Okay, so it's saying, I'm so sorry, this is a big difference, but it's still a lot, if you ask me, but, 250,000, $560, $250,560.53. So that's a big difference for 15 million, so sorry about that. So that's for, the legal department, and, so the communications department.
Hey, you want to carry that? I can carry that. You got it?
So let's see.
What's going on, McLean?
This is no internet connection.
We don't have, they don't have the greatest internet here in the building.
Yeah.
And especially with the weather right now.
So, let's see, well, I can go back to, not even letting me get to the pivot table. Okay, let's see. So, for the communications, department, at the first meeting, $10,320.58 was spent, or was paid, or ostensibly paid, $17,350.43. At the second meeting, that was April 28th. The May 25th meeting, it's reported $11,400.
Communications entails what?
I think it's like the website and
The Facebook page and stuff like that.
The printing and stuff that he sends out, the
Yeah.
letters.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the
Not the one in the water bill.
okay.
I don't know if that's included.
Okay.
But, the newsletters he sent out.
Oh, the glossy ones, the magazine kind of ones, okay.
But those are quarterly, right?
Like the ones Tiffany used to sing? Those Thornton Township
The
things?
June 23rd meeting, communications, expense was $18,360.97. August meeting, August 26th meeting, $30,350.43. And October meeting, October 27th, meeting, $13,749.97.
And for the city council meeting you talking about?
Yes, those are the meeting dates, the city council meeting dates. So those are the bills lists presented on those dates. And, what else, let's see, there was one other thing I thought might be interesting, to note. And again, I'm sorry I can't break it down to the fine details. There's a miscellaneous appropriations, and I just, for the life of me, can't understand why there would be miscellaneous appropriations.
Could you explain the definition of miscellaneous appropriations?
I can't explain it,
No,
but,
I'm saying in a budget terms, like we
oh, in the
understand.
budget terms, there should not be a miscellaneous, anything appropriated. You should have appropriated, everything that you plan to spend for the year is supposed to be appropriated in your budget. So at the beginning of your budget year, your fiscal year, you sit down and you say, we're gonna spend this much on paper, we're gonna spend this much on utilities, we're gonna spend this much on. So to have a miscellaneous, that means there either isn't the substantiating documents that fall underneath it, so that you know how to categorize it. That's the only thing I can think of, or they didn't do a good job of setting out their categories, their GL accounts for their budget, because this, for the first meeting, the February 24th meeting, $434,097.43 is miscellaneous appropriations.
So I'm sorry, let's repeat that one more time. Over $400,000 in
That's just the
miscellaneous.
first meeting.
First quarter of the finance committee meeting for the year, we've had over $400,000 in miscellaneous appropriations. That is $400,000 out of the city's budget that has not been allocated for or accounted for anything. And we don't know where that money is assigned to. That, my friends, is called a financial red flag.
Oh, and the second meeting, it was 417,000
So
miscellaneous appropriations.
I can give a little bit of context, which I have suggested that it was changed, but anyway, that was null and void. So some of the miscellaneous includes settlements, like if we have lawsuits. Some of it includes some of the lawyer fees with specific litigation or lawsuits. So I don't think, they don't include that in the legal fees. Like there's separate fees they charge for different types of lawsuits. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it is in two different places. Again, the lawsuits that are in there are miscellaneous, and I'm looking at, it looks like fringe benefit, the insurance premiums.
Oh, that's a miscellaneous appropriations?
Yes. It should be. I agree.
Okay.
Could you, is it possible we can highlight maybe the top 3 things out of the budget that we spend the most for? Number 1, we know is legal. What would be number 2 and number 3?
Well, okay, let's see, I can do it this way.
So
I
number
do
1
have-
is legal.
A grand total by fund. So, so the general fund, the total, this is the total across all of the departments. The general fund is $8,706,863.98. That's the general fund. So everything that falls under that general fund, that's how much and that's for up to that October 27th meeting date. So it could be more than that. Let's see what comes next. Water fund. $5,961,956.98.
Would be for the water
The
fund.
water fund.
And
And that's, I guess, what they pay to the city of Chicago for our water?
Yeah, and, treatment and
Oh,
all
okay.
that's included. The water fund has its own separate, like, it's like the police department is the water fund. It's separate though.
Okay.
to give a little context, what happens is neighboring municipalities pay the water to us. We in turn pay it to the city of Chicago. So that would be another really big expense if you ever were inquiring about the financials. Top one we see is legal, we pay out a lot, and then the water fund would be that. And that's because with the agreements that we have with the neighboring municipalities, residents in those neighboring municipalities, they pay the water bill. The water bill comes to us, we in turn pay it to the city of Chicago. So just to kind of give you context as to why that may be a large number that you may see on financials or budgets in the event you wanted to request the financials to review for yourself.
And does that include the back due amount that is owed to Chicago?
I am not sure. I think I did see.
Not on the bills list.
There, well, I think I did see when I was doing it, there was
It's fees, but. that's
Yeah,
not
fees.
the-
like late fees or some type of fee.
Yeah. Oh, the water purchases. So the, I don't think it includes the back pay. It includes water purchases, so you see those. And then the penalties, which it keeps being implied that those will be, basically wiped away, but nobody has confirmed that that is the fact, so. Between those two, those are on the bills list.
So those were the top two. The next one looks like the sewer fund. Oh, I'm sorry, motor fuel. And that was, $309,469.34.
Could you explain the purpose of the motor fuel fund?
I cannot. Ms. Pickett, you probably.
I know it has something to do with the utilities and the streets. I don't, where, is that, money going out? The money you said?
Well, yeah, it's Fund 02.
That's the motor fuel tax?
Mm-hmm.
The motor fuel tax is used for it to.
Well, I don't know if it's a tax, it's just under the motor fuel
It's
fund. It's what?
Well,
It's the
on
same.
the bills list, it's the tax. No, you can talk, please.
No, because from my understanding of the motor fuel tax, it is the tax that is collected, you know, like from the gas pumps and all of those things, right? And it is used specifically for infrastructure, roads, you know, sidewalks, streets, and it only can be used for that.
But this is an expenditure, this is a bill.
Right,
That's
what did
been
they fix? Did they fix potholes? Did they, yeah,
And
if
again,
you don't know,
it could be
Right.
in the, the line item, but
right.
I
But
don't
that,
have-
if you see something out of that, it would have to be for potholes, sidewalks, roads, anything dealing with the roads or bridges or anything in Harvey as far as that's concerned, that's what that can be used for. That's the only thing it can be used for.
let's see if I can, let's see. O2, here's some
So
O2.
bills
Outside services, utilities.
Street lights.
Yeah, street lights,
yeah.
all of that.
Street, I think some street repair, but I don't know if we had a lot of that. Install outlet for washer dryer, not sure what that's about. What is that washer dryer? Camera feeds, restore power to camera feeds, utilities. Is that supposed to be included?
Yes.
The city's utilities?
Yes, it can be.
That's what's on the bills here. So, I do, I guess wanna reiterate, because I don't know how many people know this, but a lot of our motor fuel tax that's collected goes to, pension that we owe back. So there was a settlement some time ago, I think I just went to the meeting, 2017 or 2018. It was somewhere around there. The funds come from the Illinois, from the state. They take it directly from the state and send it to the pension fund. A lot of our money that's coming in is going to them. So that's why they're saying we don't get, even with the low collection rate, a large portion of that also goes to the past pension fund where we owe back from the settlement.
That's for fire and police pension.
Yes, we have paid off police, the back pay. We've paid off police, so now but it didn't lower it. So the amount that went to the police is now also going to the fire. So now they're getting the whole, I think it's 30-something%, I think. So now it's going to the fire pension.
I guess my question would be if is there some legal remedies under which the city could either renegotiate something or present constitutional challenges regarding how the amounts are collected and how it cripples a city that the majority of the people are already considered disadvantaged, or I know I know I'm pronouncing this wrong. Is it diaspora or diaspora impact? But it's a basically you're challenging it based on the fact that even though it's legal for them to take the money, but the argument would be that in itself is not unconstitutional, but the effect of enforcing a law or ordinance or whatever, the impact that it has on the broader community, that's where you could come in with a constitutional challenge. I haven't looked it up to see, but I think that if we do have attorneys within the city, which I believe we do, that is something that they should be looking at, because of the history of corruption in the city, or for whatever reason that we got to this point, it's stifling the future of our children and the future of our community based on past actions. And so I think that it would be a good idea if they started to look to see if there is some way that we can challenge that, not to undercut the police or the people who have earned the pensions, but rather negotiate it in a way that takes care of them but doesn't cripple us at the same time.
I understand there may be statutes that, yeah, I understand the direction you're going in. It could be Illinois statutes or federal statutes. Or
Something. I would think that it would be at the federal level. I wouldn't think that, because the state is going to protect their own interests. I think that it would be beneficial if they looked at something at the federal level, because then it stops. If you're at the federal level, it stops like the county and the city and people where it stops them from interfering with that, and you get a different set of eyes on it who doesn't have the political connections and things directly to Harvey.
Now let me play devil's advocate. If you have an administration for multiple years that have misappropriated the funds, right? If we're looking on a federal level, a federal judge is gonna say the people in charge, the people that they voted to put in charge misappropriated the funds. Why should I say that you should be able to renegotiate this because of that, right? So I think the vote for the state to come in was the best thing that they could have done, because if you have 3 people that were not involved in anything, taking a look at the finances, maybe they will be able to find a way, you know, since they misappropriated funds, maybe they will be able to find a way to correct the budget so that what is being levied is not heavy on the residents, right? You know, I'm just.
But you also gotta look at the firefighters. They're not going to renegotiate their pensions. They said that at the last meeting. They are not, they want their money.
Well, the
So at the
comptroller
end of the day, that's why the garnishments are in place, because they haven't been getting their money and they want their money. So
Right,
just
well,
like with Dalton, what happened with Dalton, the same thing. They wind up having to renegotiate their contracts and giving them something that they could get. Right now, they got the garnishments because they stopped paying.
I feel like you have a better stance with speaking with the comptroller, right? Because the comptroller, I know that you know, you had
It's comptroller.
Okay, Ms. Ashley is gonna
yeah.
jump
What are you
in.
talking about, Susan Mendoza? Is that who you talking about? I
Yeah.
know you talking about the control here in Harvey.
Oh, no, not him.
Oh, okay.
Not
I
him.
wanna actually tag on into that. I don't know if you can go back.
Not him.
The bill.
The state
Is that
comptroller.
why you put your hands up like that?
So the bill list that you guys, that we're currently looking at here has.
What is it?
All right, so, to speak on the pension, so I do attend, well, I don't know when the police pension meetings are, but I do attend the fire pension meetings. And there actually is a lawsuit right now. The city has filed a lawsuit against the pension board for a couple of reasons. But, one is that this is basically causing an undue hardship.
Yeah, that's.
However, because of past actions, the pension board is dead set against changing it or altering it, because in the past, they have not gotten their money. And they feel like now they're finally getting their money and now you wanna take it away. So, I understand both sides,
You gotta pay them
and it's
people.
a hard, but yeah, they're kinda stuck. So I think it's gonna actually go through with the lawsuit. The lawsuit is actually gonna go through, because both sides have a strong case. Like, it is hardship on the people, but it also is, we also have a duty to fund the pension. And we were not funding the pension.
So
So
look how
that's
many
why.
layoffs they got already, and
And
so
then
now their money is
That's
stopping.
extra.
Yeah, exactly.
But for the state of Illinois, they're not funding the teachers' retirement system either. So what are they doing with that particular thing? Cause they're not getting all their
Part of the
money
school
either.
board, that's not even.
No, they blowing their money too though. You gotta watch the news for that one. Yeah, they.
Which causes them to go legal routes.
Yeah.
Because typically the municipality is supposed to pay in it. That's why they have,
That's why they got sued the
audits.
first time.
That is why they got sued the first time, but they have audits that gives a recommendation on how much they should levy every year so that the pension fund is paid. So right now, they're not even trying to fully fund the pension. They're trying to get there eventually, but they feel like if you change it now, after they already got this settlement, and now they're getting the rest of the money from the the police portion, they feel like what is gonna keep the city from falling back into not funding it? So,
I wouldn't play with
You
mama.
know, a couple of years ago, you remember when Detroit had to file bankruptcy, the city of Detroit. Did Detroit, Michigan governor, did he assign a board to run the city, or what happened?
That would be something to research.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
I didn't know they filed bankruptcy.
They did, but and I think it was some, maybe a receivership type of situation that they did. I'm not sure who was the receiver of it or who was appointed by the governor, but I do know that was something that they did, and I believe that for the most part have rebounded in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do understand what you're saying, and Michigan and Illinois are different, so I think that's the purpose of the financially distressed, is that you can't officially say bankrupt, but essentially, by definition,
That's what that
financial
is.
distress means we're
Yeah.
bankrupt. So. But
Now,
I did want to segue into when you talked about the comptroller, and I want to give structure to how the department is set up, because this treasurer here, the comptroller, should report to the treasurer. Unfortunately, for the last couple of years, it has not been that way. So I wanted to point out interesting things that have been on the bills list that, because we're here about FOIAs, this might be something you want to consider FOIAing. Our comptroller name is Louis B. Williams, and during the finance committee meetings and the bills list, there has always been reimbursements of credit cards. Essentially what this means is Mr. Louis Williams uses his personal credit card and expects the city to reimburse. So we got about $1,000 in gas. We have a reimbursement of $3,465 that we don't know what the reimbursement is for.
That was probably the turkeys he bought.
But is that for like 1 month?
No,
there
he
was
actually
also-
did that. My question was, why are you putting, where's the city credit card? Why are you
Right.
taking that, we all get points on our American Express card.
That's what I was gonna say.
So
You
that's a
you
whole
getting
lot
a
of
point.
free
You
trips
getting a
right there.
point.
There's no reason he should be his personal expenses for anything.
So to the tune of as much information as he has been reimbursed almost $14,000 for things that we don't understand. It was a reimbursement of $3,465, but we don't know. We see a conference, but again, because the comptroller works for the city should be able to pay for these conferences. Why did you pay for it personally and then expect residents to pay it back to you? And then Best Buy. I don't know if you call it Black Friday sale, but what were you buying at Best Buy for almost $3,000 that we have no record? And I want you all to keep this in mind, because another
Did
vendor.
anyone have city credit cards, or did they all use their personal ones?
And what can we put on the books? See, because I believe that the strongest point is to make laws. Is there a law or ordinance that we can, as citizens, advocate for and vote for that will prevent people from using their personal credit cards for that? Couldn't we put something in
I don't even know
place?
if that's something we can do at this point, because this is all
too late.
passed.
Yeah.
This is all passed.
But I'm just saying, we still need to put in safeguards for the
In
future.
the ordinance,
And that's what you need to tell your.
You gotta have 4 votes.
percentage of the aldermen to
Yeah.
even present
Right.
an ordinance.
Right.
And they don't have it. It's only Tracy and Colby.
Right.
Wow.
So they'll never be able.
Until
Everybody
she-
asks, why isn't she
Yeah.
doing an ordinance?
You
Because
can't
it'll
get
never,
one.
it's a waste of time.
It'll never get
It'll
passed.
ne-
They
it'll
won't
never
even put
get
it on
the-
the agenda.
Huh?
They don't even put it on the agenda half the
Right.
time.
Good. Yeah.
So,
do you
Okay.
have to have a referendum to vote on that or something?
Well, you have to have, I think it's 2/3 of majority in order just to get it
Well, you
on
see
the
what
floor.
happened in Kalamazoo?
I have a
They
question.
had to,
When he was
reduces,
reimbursed, the treasurer just reimburses money, is this something that gotta go through a voting system to get approved? And he just-
Nah, he just swiped in and
Oh, treasurer POV, resident POV, treasurer POV.
how it's supposed to work, if he does use it, so I'm gonna assume he's already got pre-approval for these things, because why would you go buy a bunch of turkeys? So somebody's telling him, hey, can you use your
it's all
card?
passed. Yeah.
However, it is supposed to come before the council, and they are supposed to vote to approve paying this bill. He is supposed to submit documentation. How he submit documentation to himself, I don't know who's checking these things.
Right.
I don't know how that works, unfortunately, I don't. But, I do know when I submit my reimbursements, I submit my, receipts to the comptroller.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be, it's not supposed to be paid out until it's approved. Supposedly, except if it's already approved on the budget,
Okay,
supposedly.
so once again, did you, as the treasurer?
No, I
pay
ain't gave out nothing.
So who paid them?
That's it.
Sure.
She said, Jamie and Bob. So, that's the treasurer's POV, resident POV. As a
Okay.
person that attended the finance committee meeting, how it went was there was a list of bills that was not readily available to anyone.
Okay,
And these reimbursements were on the bills list and they were unanimously voted yes. So the aldermen that are on the finance committee meeting voted yes for these reimbursements without a review and without a question. When asked for the reimbursements, they were not available.
This ward alderman
right,
and
right.
6 ward aldermen.
So it was a blanket vote. They didn't even go, it was nothing itemized or anything. It just said, we're gonna vote this and that was it.
That is
Okay.
correct. And also the bills was not readily, was not available for residents to consume as a copy. And the aldermen that were at the finance committee meeting didn't have the bills list in front of them either.
And who's supposed to get them a copy of what's being voted on?
The comptroller.
The comptroller.
He's supposed to submit it, so it's usually in the packet
Correct,
that we receive.
right.
Every now and then, he says it late, but he usually submits it before the meeting.
Okay, let me ask for clarification, for that. So, the question is, we're discussing money that was already spent.
Yes.
This gentleman here raises an interesting perspective. He's basically saying, why worry about what was spent? How can we, move forward? That's just question.
Well, I think tonight was just
The
for
FOIA.
information to understand how we got to the point where we're financially distressed. We, as residents, can only hold our alderpersons accountable for how they're going to go forward, how they're gonna appropriate, like that miscellaneous appropriation stuff, how are they going to budget so that we can start figuring out how to get back into a financially stable position? So, yeah, how to get the fire and the police back. And so until they step up and do what's right and take a forthright attempt at, putting us back on a financial strategy, it's gonna be the same old thing, because for the 6 years that this administration has been in office, I don't think anything has been done differently. So, I mean, I'm relatively new here, so I don't know how it was, but since I've been here, it hasn't been different than this.
And I think also this, understanding our financial state and how did we get here should be able to inform your vote for 2027.
Absolutely.
And if you feel, based on what you're seeing here, what everyone is presenting, if you feel that this current administration is doing what they're supposed to be doing, then by all means go ahead. But if you, as I have, and I feel some others in the room, when you attend finance committee meetings or city council meetings and you leave with more questions than you have answers,
Or
I don't
get
know about you,
reprimanded
but
for-
I like my questions to be answered, especially when these seats and this money that we're talking about, it's not my personal.
Right.
It's for the people. It's supposed to benefit the public.
And for
And
more,
we're not benefiting.
and I just wanna add on to that, so at the finance committee meetings, not only do you leave with more questions in here, sometimes you're reprimanded for asking
Yeah,
questions.
beat up, leave up
And
out of there,
yelled
and
at,
assaulted,
and,
and
you know,
Yeah.
and so,
Did they
that's
get
just,
an answer on the
Arrested.
$30 million check? Did they say?
There's a question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm
I'm
sorry.
relatively new to the city myself. I just purchased my home a little over a year ago.
Congratulations.
Right.
But what I'm hearing is that these are repeated actions from my past. How's there no cap on the spending? How can any public
We
official,
followed the home rule for one.
that doesn't make sense.
Everything that I just wanna share this, and this is what we were in the hallway talking about. 4 people represent 19,000 people here in the city. At a majority vote, those 4 people can always push whatever agenda or whatever they want.
They won't.
And this is what has happened time and time again. We have a locked quorum. And so you're not even able on the floor to have a discussion, because as soon as a motion to call the question happens and there's a second by another alderperson, that doesn't even allow for discussion anymore. And we keep seeing it happen time and time again, because until, like, the mayor has executive power, but the real power on the floor is through the alderperson. The alderpersons right now we were just standing out there, what could we do? We only have 7 firefighters. This man just said that just one person on 146th and Union put out a fire.
That's crazy.
You know how dangerous that is? What if he died?
Yes, by himself.
What if he died in that fire? You know, beyond losing his life, or in addition to losing his life, how much of a liability that is? But thank God we got people who willing to go the gusto for the residents of Harvey, but he shouldn't have to have that burden. So we were in the hallway saying, what can we do? The only thing that we really can do is put all the pressure on all the persons. The 4th ward and the 2nd ward stand with y'all. And I'm not saying that the other alderpersons don't. But unfortunately, you don't wake up every day and eat the same thing.
Hello.
But every council meeting they come to, they say, yes. They don't ask any questions. They don't respond to any emails. They don't inquire for their behalf of their ward. So the only way I know to do it is we must put the pressure on it. We must call Shirley 50 times. We must call Tyrone 40 times. We must call Dominique Randall L. So on and so forth. We must call and call and call and call and call them. Right now, all we need are 2 of them to sign off on the agenda that me and Tracy would like to submit to the city council first thing in the morning to say that we must have a special council meeting. And all we need are 2 aldermen to sign the agenda, and we can have that meeting as we're supposed to anyway on Monday, December 8th. But because they're not gonna sign it, and because we're not hearing from them, the only thing that I know is the residents, we must put the pressure on them. And I'm not talking little pressure. Like I said, we must send 1,000 emails or something, something that's gonna catch the attention enough to say, if you don't step up, you're gonna step aside. That's the only way. That's where the power lies. We're powerless without these 2 additional aldermen. If they want to be 1, 3, 5, or 6, they can take their pick. But we just need 2 more to stand with what we're trying to do so that we can change. Right now, we just telling the firemen, as aldermen, we can say, you know what? You don't need an executive assistant, and you don't need a deputy something and this and that. We need that $200,000 to go back into the public safety fund so we can bring on more police officers and more firemen. We got the legislative power to do that, but we're prohibited of that if the 2 don't step up and do their job.
That's crazy.
And
Yes,
of the
absolutely.
people who are consistently voting against the interests of the citizens.
Well, we can go by deduction, so we have a city clerk.
Yeah, I do. No, I do. I'm just saying that we say they.
Drewinski, the 3rd ward alderperson is Talani Smith, the 5th ward alderperson is Dominique Randall L, and the 6th ward alderperson is Tyrone Rogers. So, just by deduction, you know who isn't the enemy. So those are the 4, I shouldn't say they're the enemy, I'm sorry. But the 4 that are holdouts or sellouts, or however you wanna put it, those are the 4 alderpersons. It's
Only
the
reason
1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th.
And I asked that they be identified because sometimes the public, the general public don't even really understand what's happening here, who your alderperson is, and how much they are impacting your everyday life.
That's true.
That's the reason why we're in this situation now, because if we had 4 strong aldermen, if we got 4 strong aldermen, the mayor only gets to speak when it's a time. You can totally prevent. Now you remember right when I had got in, it was 3-3. I don't know if y'all remember when I had got appointed, it was 3-3, and then the mayor, Kellogg, he made the deciding vote. So even when they still voted no, it was 3-3, he made the decision right there. aldermen is the ones that's generally could be able to run. It's certain powers that the mayor have, but it's only certain. We got 4 strong people. A lot of this stuff, not just even before. Put it this way, we didn't just get here. We've been slowly getting here, and everything that I could think of could have been changed. And right now, we could do this tomorrow. We get 4 aldermen. We could go up there tomorrow
and do something.
And we could demand this 48 hours. We have a meeting Monday, whatever like that, and we could get all this straight. At least get it on the table.
And what's those ward numbers again? That's 6, 5, 5, 3, and 1.
Say
So just go 1, 3, 5, and 6. That's
1,
it.
3,
1,
5,
3,
and
6.
Say hypothetically, you get the vote and you're able to set this quorum. What is on the table specific that you're gonna talk about that could have some form of immediate impact? Because right now we need immediate stuff. We don't need nothing long term. We got too many wrongs. Some got to get right. So what would you have on your agenda that you would tell us like, look, this is something we can do?
Hey, first thing immediately, reduce his staff. His staff is close to
That's it.
$400,000,
Yeah.
$500,000 right there.
On behalf of the
Reduce
public safety committee.
all the way down to him and just one person.
No more spending, no more
Okay.
spending.
That'll
all
save
on
us
specific.
$300,000 right
Okay,
there.
so you cut
His
that
security detail, the luxury vehicles they ride
Yeah,
around
that's
in.
personal
Yeah.
stuff, all
Yeah.
personal expenses, all
Yeah.
that.
Initial
We need to
fleet.
cut his
The
budget. That's
24-hour
first thing.
camera that he has posted at his house while shootings are happening on the next block. A little girl got killed on the block behind him. Another baby got shot on her way home
That's not answering
from
my
school,
question.
and this is right
That-
back
that's
his house.
important.
But that's one, but secondly, our lawyer fees.
Yeah.
Our lawyer fees is hitting us well over,
15 minutes?
No, that was wrong. It was
But a
like
year is close to- it's
250,000.
close to-
It was 250,000.
a year.
But most-
But that's a year, that's all
I
we paid.
think
I thought we
though,
paid somebody
from the
$400,000.
Well,
standpoint,
Aisha was saying that there are legal things that fall into the miscellaneous appropriations, so that's just what they claimed as legal.
And do y'all know an example of what the general fund is? A general fund, fund is, that's just a slick way of allocating money. So that means the water expenses that I never received, and I've been on them for 7 years, and only got 20 or 25 out of 107,000, 50,000, whatever. We put it in the general fund. So now it's in the general fund. You can't ask because it goes in one big pile. They could put that and have an asterisk by it. Well, this 150,000 asterisk, Alderman Key. This 50,000 asterisk, Alderwoman Chapman. That way you'll know that our money went towards that. And to see the way that they got it set up, general fund mean that money came from anywhere. Whatever money we got, we put it in the general fund. Well, give us a breakdown of the general fund.
But
That's
it-
what you're killing them at right there, because he get money, and he know what he's doing.
But at one of the meetings, Lewis Williams said that, and he contradicted the mayor contradicted him. The mayor said, we don't have money for reimbursements or something like that.
Yep.
And then Lewis Williams said, but reimbursements are already appropriated. So that means they've already allotted money for appropriations. So if you're not giving it to the people who need to be reimbursed, you're mismanaging it.
Yeah, they call it allocating. So
Allocations,
every year,
appropriations.
we're supposed to get 25,000 for beautification. Okay, our salary is 43,000.
Can't say
In
it.
addition to our salary, 43,000, we're supposed to receive 25,000 that's allocated. And we understand that it doesn't mean we're gonna get the whole $25,000. But Alderwoman Chapman and me, and I've been there 7 years, I would never ask for 25,000, cause I know the city is in debt. Unless it's something great, but if they can come over and do some work in my area, or I can get some employees and stuff, a job up at the street department, I ain't tripping and saying I need that 25, I gotta have it, you owe me this. No, I'm being fair. But if I ask for 4,000 or 5,000 and out of a year, I don't
You
get
still
nothing.
can't get it.
Back to the gentleman's
That's what's
question,
wrong, right?
what would you like to see on the agenda that you think will make a big impact?
Immediately, I would love to see something done with the housing situation. First and foremost, we got too many abandoned houses open. Tear them down.
That's not an
then
immediate
what
thing.
people could
Yeah,
come in.
that, you know how long that takes, that's not an
Well,
immediate-
for
You can't
someone,
immediately just do that, you know how long, you know it takes 15,000, at least 15,000,
Listen.
at least. up to anywhere from 30 or more thousand just to demolish a house. That's why we got so many houses right there that the city own, they burn. We still gotta pay like $15,000 just to get there. In order to do it, it'll take so long. We need something
Can
immediate.
we, let him finish? 'Cause I don't think
Yeah,
he-
go ahead. I think
Yeah.
he finished with his question.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir.
No, that's quite, see, I'm not into, what's already happened, let's focus on what we gotta do to fix things. And right now, this whole meeting to me is a little bit backwards.
Well, we can do both. We can walk and chew bubble gum. We can reflect on the past
No,
and
no,
still move forward.
That's true, but you need people with boots on the ground that's gonna do some work. And it takes numbers to do it. And, I think right now, the city, the village of Harvey have a stigma about itself. You got people that's automatically think that nothing never gonna get fixed, so they don't even come out to try to help. So if somebody's starting to see something being done in the smallest way, it'll change their attitudes, and then, the ball gets rolling. But as long as we standing here fighting each other and it's not get done, it's a vicious cycle.
I believe that
Can I
what's
say
gonna be
something?
central to Harvey changing is going to be raising the morale of the people,
Correct.
to get them to start caring about where they live. But here, this is what I've researched about these abandoned properties. They're pretty much owned by one particular bank. The man that lives in the White House is friends with them. Is it Douche Bank or Dush? I can't pronounce it. Those banks. They own pretty much the majority of all of these abandoned properties, JP Morgan, and big banks like that. But the hope in that is that, like for instance, Homewood and a few other south suburban areas did bring a class action lawsuit against these banks, because if this was a more affluent community, because they are the reason for the financial collapse of people losing their homes and having to abandon their properties, and they are supposed to upkeep those properties. If this was a more affluent community, the bank would be responsible for sending someone out to cut the grass, to board up the property. That's their expense.
So
Once a house goes through foreclosure, that's that bank's responsibility. One of the solutions that I would suggest is to take care of whatever we can and build those banks. There are whole communities who have been successful in suing banks for the condition of their community. And what we're seeing now is a trend that, prior to, I want to say like the 2000s, they never used eminent domain in the way in which they're using it now. So how they do us is they withdraw all services from us. They allow our communities to go in disrepair. They use the term blight and then come and do a full land grab. But if we were holding the banks accountable, there would be no way for them to deem our city blighted, because the bank would be responsible for the damage that they did to black communities. And I'm gonna be specific. So that's just my opinion.
Real quick, if you didn't know this is how the banks get around a lot of this. A lot of people own their houses and don't even know they own it.
Yep,
They gave the houses back to the owner and walked away and they write it off.
they sure do.
90% of these houses vacant and leaning to the left.
Yep,
That person used to live there own that house.
They sure
The
do.
bank have nothing to do with it.
Well, from
So
my
they-
research, they do. They still own
You
it.
gotta do some more research. I got a list, very long, and I do skip tracing. And
I do
know
too,
too
10
many
years
properties.
collector.
I got a list too many properties right now that I could call a person and don't even know that the property's theirs anymore. So that's how the bank's getting away.
I have a quick question. What kind of community am I living in, whereas you're fine me because my yard is not cut, and my garage is not right,
Right.
but you won't go find that bank?
Right.
I don't
And that's
understand
what
that.
I'm talking about.
I don't understand.
Amanda's done,
Did you
I'm
speak
sorry.
my mind?
Okay, no, so, and I appreciate everybody's comments, and a lot of the things when we're, and, cause you're the second, person in the room that said, well, why we talk about the past when we talk about the future? The purpose of this is to understand how much mistakes we made to position ourselves for what we can do for the future. So as mentioned, a lot of the properties that are blighted, a good chunk of those are owned by the city. But then what can the city do? Got you. We have an economic development committee that has not met since February officially, and the last one was for April, where Huntington Bank was there, CCLF, Chicago Community Loan Fund, which are organizations and banks and CDFIs can assist individuals and organizations with that. However, we have not had a meeting. Our economic development director is no longer an employee of the city. So what is happening is a lot of the people that have these economic development projects, they are going unresponsive and unheard. We had a gentleman here who has his own money and equity to want to do redevelopment projects. They won't even respond to emails. Somebody that has a couple $100,000 in pocket ready to put into the city, but you won't answer their emails. So a lot of the things that you're saying are amazing, but that what we're talking about right now is putting us in position for 2027 and beyond. Because we haven't had an economic development committee meeting. When we go to the finance committee meetings, they don't even bring the bills. It's like what we're looking at right now is not readily available to us as residents. And then the aldermen who are voting on these bills are voting unanimously without the numbers even being there. So the purpose of this is for you all, we as a people, to use our minds and our talents to put pressure on this administration. But this administration and like many other corrupt administrations, they're only gonna respond to FOIA and legal. We can go out there and chant all day long, and that's great, don't get me wrong. Using our bodies to resist is good too. But unfortunately, until you slap them with a lawsuit, until you slap them with the FOIA, because by law you need to answer this is the only way they're gonna really respond. And there's power in numbers. So I understand, hey, you always talk about the past, but we can't know where we're going if we don't understand where we've been. And so I just wanted to
And can I just add to that the city is from a revenue standpoint, from a profit standpoint, is earning $24,000 annually on pieces of paper. They charge $25 for a real estate application. At 4 people a day, that's $100, $500 a week, times that by 52 weeks is $24,000 that they're earning off, printed off a piece of paper. And none of those people are ever contacted back. That's to apply for an abandoned property, right? So they just figured out a loophole. I just was sharing with you all that on Thursday, October 2nd, Turlington Homes would retrieve 9 properties from the city, 9 parcels. That's even better than properties since they got land, so they really own those. It was never disclosed how much we sold it for, and who are these people? You know, where did they come from, and how did they get 9 pieces of property instead of you and you all?
And it was a new LLC.
They just went into inception on Thursday, October 2nd. No, because that's my birthday. You know what I mean?
Voted yes
So
on
literally,
the following
Yes.
week.
Wow.
Between the following 3 weeks later.
So it's not a business that have tenure, that's been in the community. It's a brand new startup
business.
company.
They got 9 properties, and the maximum amount of a sold property is $249,500. So you talking 3 properties, that's $1 million. So $1 million times that by 9. Look at how, $3 million across 9 properties, if sold. 1 level homes.
And it's all lawyers on that investment. I looked it up too.
So then how can they come in? Or right here in the 2nd ward, the building that sits just to the rear of, when you cross over 159th at Center, Alex's Butcher, the same people who own that, they got that property for $10. Okay, the same paint, let's talk about, let me just go there. Look at the paint on the hoods. Right? Everybody see the gray paint on the hood? Isn't that the same gray paint on the 2 buildings that's owned by some investors that are in with this administration when you come down 154th Street? Those old abandoned row homes, there are 4 of them painted the same colors. All of that, the same color of the home that's next door to the mayor's home that's painted that same color. So my point is they're doing it, they're just doing it with their people. And Alex's Butcher is whoever that gentleman is, J&T, the J&T group, they're all together. They are ramrodding our city. That's why tonight, in the next couple of minutes, when we jump into what is a FOIA, we need everybody in here to submit a FOIA. Not only that, we need everybody to reach out to the alderman. We're going to provide their numbers. Call them right now. Send them a text. Send them an email. What are you all doing to move the needle forward? We need to. We can stop all of this with 2 of those aldermen. So.
Absolutely.
See, being, you know, at the time that I done been in here, you know, Alderman, before Clark became mayor, when he was an alderman, and Kellogg was mayor, it's been nothing but chaos. It's been nothing but a whole process. Everything is going. That's why I may be so outspoken and I have so much to say, because I know what I've been through, but I do take the knowledge that I have and I do spread it on. All the questions that we're asking and all the things that we're coming to, I mean, this has already been a plan. Gentrification is like a 30-year process, okay?
Yes.
I learned that from working at the bank downtown when I first started working down there. I was 19 years old. He said gentrification. He said, you know what? It's a 30-year plan. That's what they would call it, a 30-year plan. That seemed like a long time, because you know what? Black people ain't got enough patience to do it. But 30 years, I noticed when I saw the building and all the houses and the community neighborhoods and everything all around there, everybody can come down there, we can park for free, we can do all this and everything. Now, as years passed, and remember we was trying to have the Olympics, and the mayor spent all the money and changed the lake. Remember we went from driving to the lakefront and just sitting on all the way on the beach where the water, we could drive in there. Now you gotta pay for a meter. You go downtown, they got these condos, $250,000 a
Right
month.
with a project.
A month?
Yeah.
You don't got money, you know, like that. All this stuff happened, that's when they jumped in, but it started in Harvey years ago to decline. Now, Mayor Haynes, when he left, he said that once he leaves, this city will never be back on this. It'll take at least 30 or 40 years for this city to be back on this feet. Now you see everything that we're going through right now. So the writing has already been on the wall. Now let me take this a little further. When I became an inspector, before I became an alderman, I was an inspector. What I would do is that I would go to the houses and I'd take a list of all the vacant houses and find out who owns them. And like brother over here, when he was saying that the bank didn't own it, what it is that the bank, I take your property, but I keep it in your name and I never registered it in my property, so the tax is still gonna be coming to your name. They're not gonna never come to you. It just sits there. Nobody's paying anything because I haven't transferred it over back to myself yet. I just keep it in your name. You long gone, they can't come to you connecting everything, and it takes a while for their process. That's why these properties just sit there.
Yeah.
So as they sit there, so when I became alderman, the first thing I did, I bought a lawnmower, I bought a lawn tractor, snowball, everything. I would come by, I would cut the grass. I would come by on the side, trim the hedges down. You know, I take a before and an after picture. I would request that the mayor tell them to send an inspector by there to show me doing it. And when they see me doing it, issue them a $500 fine for the grass, a $500 fine for the weeds, and a $500 fine for if it needs to be boarded up or whatever like that. Once we get it up to a certain amount of money, 4,000 or 5,000, you know what I mean? And they see I'm out here helping with the city too and doing it. All we had to do then was simply go to the county, put a lien on the house
Yeah.
with proof that this is how it looked and this is how it looked afterwards. Now, some inspectors, they'll try to give you tickets every certain, but if it was certain garbage, you have 30 certain many days. We give you 3 to 5 days. We put a warning right there. After that, we put ticket until that garbage is picked on up. And we have to call the city to come and pick up that money, pick up that garbage. That's a fine for that. You know how much it costs just to operate the city? Just say if you just needed one job, one load picked on up, just to open up the city and open up the doors, turn on the lights, start the tractor on up, pay the work and everything, just to go and get that one job and come back there. That's like $1,000 a day for operating expenses just to operate. But I would come out there and do it. And I just said, just come here and get the information. So we get list after list after that. This is important. It's called Dillner and Associates. His name is Scott. I would turn all the information in to him, Ms. Rufus, right? And what he would do, his job would be to go and to file it at the Markham Courthouse, you know, to put the liens on it. When Clark got in, he immediately got rid of him. Okay, with money still on the table. So we still owed him hundreds of thousands for claims stacked houses like this. That all he had to do was go to the Markham Courthouse and it's like, it'd be like anywhere between $500 and $900 to do all the processing. You know what I mean? To change it over and over, and then the court fees for him to go to court to get that. So that was money that was going to be generated, but he didn't want the properties to be up under, he wanted to where he would get control of the property. So it ain't like he the first mayor to do it. He just had the opportunity to do it because he was mayor. So we left all that money on the table, all these deeds and everything that he's still waiting on them to file for, and all this work that I put in and everything with proof that we did this on a consistent basis where we couldn't. So he left that and we went with Anthony. You know, and of course when he left him stuff, I had questions and everything, but he was the new mayor. He, you know, hey, you gotta give him an opportunity. That's when he should have came in and be like, hey, we in debt. I gotta do this. I gotta be tight. We gotta change these suspicions. We gotta do it. And meanwhile, stop spending your money, but he didn't do that. He came in and started bullguarding and started making decisions, and then making people that meet us out there trying to help. Saying, that ain't your job. That ain't your job to do that. That ain't your job to do that. But we left all that money on the table through Dillman and Associates. It's right there out in Homewood. You go down 159th. It's right by Thornwood High School. You keep going up right there. Scott's name is Scott Dillon. All that money, we left that on the table. Changed everything. The process was already set. But if they already got their plan, they got their plan. The only thing we can do is sit here and fight it, because the three things that's gonna make you leave your property is property taxes, vacant houses all on your block, and crime.
Yep.
Those three things is gonna make you get up and just leave. And that process has been going on. And that's what I'm talking, because I know exactly what they're doing. This is a plan that's so far in place. Only thing we can do is the people to vote them out of
The
there.
Harvey put liens on homes?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sorry, you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, because we kind of almost at time, and we wanted to just shift gears a little bit. Based on the information that you all have presented, the way we can take this a step further, going off of, we need to put pressure on the administration. We can use our bodies, we can use our voices, but we can also use our phones and our laptops. And what does that mean and look like? So it means basically FOIA. Now, this is a template of how do you complete a FOIA. Does anyone understand what FOIA means?
No.
Freedom of Information Act. So this presentation is from the BGA, the Better Government Association. Does anyone know what the BGA is? The BGA is an organization that basically makes sure that governments are doing what they are supposed to do, from the local level all the way up to federal. So this is just kind of an overview of how we as residents have the right to request information that is pertinent to our city. So again, they have amazing resources and information that you can look up as well. Let me put it on down here. FOIA, again, Freedom of Information Act. Anything dealing with the city is information that we are privy to because we live here in this city. Even as a resident of Illinois, you have access to information at the state level because you are a resident of the state of Illinois. Because you are a resident of the city of Harvey, you have the right to access information that is pertaining to this city. And they have the obligation to provide you with that information. Why is that important? The reason why it's important is this is how we hold government accountable. So when we talk about, you can go to city council meetings, we can do public comment, you can speak with your alderman, and those are amazing, great things as well. But this is also equally as important, is requesting information because they legally have to give it to you. Because again, your driver's license, where you lay your head at night, is the city of Harvey. You have the right to understand where your money is going, what decisions are being made for this city. Okay. So, what do we do with the FOIA? So the FOIA can be reports, writings, letters, email, contracts, text messages, electronic records, data.
City
all
phones
of those
are FOIA-able.
things can be
That's why Michael Smith
FOIA,
was talking to
which is, you can submit a request for that information from the city. What does that look like? What are some examples? Public employees, personnel, and disciplinary files. Police reports. Even if it's not your police report, you can still obtain it. Arrest report, payroll data, business license data, 311 requests, restaurant inspections. Who can FOIA? Everybody in this room? All of you all, because you are a resident of this city, you have the right to do that. Now again, Clerk's Department, Department of Public Works, Planning and Zoning, Police Department, legislative, executive, administrative bodies, even at the federal level as well. Now, now every city has a FOIA officer. It could be the clerk, sometimes it's another employee, sometimes it's the mayor. It could be a little bit of everyone. Tracy or Kobe, can you tell us who's the current FOIA officer for the city of Harvey?
Yes, and in most municipalities, it's gonna be the clerk, who is Rosa Arambula.
So,
Or the deputy.
Miss
Or the
Rosa,
deputy.
Either one that's, you know.
yes,
Maybe always the one that responds.
Lillian something?
yes.
Yeah, she responded my voice.
Is that the big, the tall,
I don't know,
lady
maybe
with the straight black hair?
So what do you, so here we go, because we talked about a lot of information. What can you request? And to be quite honest, what is important to you? What do you wanna know? So for example, with myself, I have forwarded a police report involving an elected official here in the city of Harvey. Because I need to understand what happened and how it happened. Because it didn't make sense to me. That police report was sent to me. Now, some of the information is redacted. And the reason for that is some personal information will not be given to you. And that's just to create a form of protection. But that overarching police report was sent to me. I have also FOIA financial records that, funny enough, have been denied. Interesting how the public's money and the record of the public's money is not available to the public.
And burdensome.
Yes.
Did you turn it into the public access officer? Once it was denied?
No, I have not.
So you have 60 days after you put in a FOIA that's denied to write the public access officer of the Attorney General's office to say, this is public information, it was denied. You have to turn in your original FOIA where they denied you and your original request. You send all of this to the public access officer. They will respond to you and say, I will find out. You only have 60 days. So when you put in a FOIA, you need to set a reminder. They have 5 days to answer, but you have 60 days to appeal a denial. So you just have to follow it. And when they send you back an answer, they have to answer the Attorney General's office and they have to answer you. If they answer you and you feel like the answer is incorrect, you can still go back to the public access officer and say, this is not true. In a meeting dated such and so on the agenda and in the minutes, this is what was said. So you just have to keep up with it.
Thank you for that. And so with FOIAs, it can never be verbal. So this is not a go to City Hall, I want you to give me every police report. That's not gonna happen. Okay, let me just start there. So it has to be submitted in writing. That's number one.
They have extensions.
Yes. So one has to be, now, and let me also say this, because while public information is, in my opinion, a legal right, they are not required to answer questions or create records on the fly. However, the information that you are requesting should already be readily available because this is the purpose of government. So asking for October bank statements for the Harvey General Fund, that's information that should be readily available because it's not like it has to be created. The redevelopment agreement between the city of Harvey and Lexington Homes,
Turlington
Turlington Homes and the city of Harvey. Well, in order for it to get to the city council meeting in the last couple weeks, there obviously had to be an agreement. What is that agreement and what does it spell out? If the city of Harvey has a contract with a cybersecurity firm, I should be able to access that. That's not something you have to pull out the fly, because in order for them to do work for the city, there has to be some parameters in place. Like, what do we pay them monthly? What is the legal clause if they're not doing their job? Is there a payment penalty for severing the contract? All of those things should be documented. So it's important when you're framing it to say, and I'll just give you all an example. I am requesting October 2025 bank statement for Harvey General Fund. Okay, so that's 1 month of a bank statement. It shouldn't be hard for them to provide to you, seeing as how the bank is generating this monthly statement. It's not something they have to pull out of thin air. Or if you want to see an agreement between the city of Harvey and WW Consulting, that is something that they should be able to provide for you, because according to the bills list, what you saw, this is a vendor. So if you all even want to pull certain vendor contracts and say, well, what are we paying them to do? And then as a resident, you can make your own deductive reason to say, have they fulfilled their obligations? Now, what's super important about FOIA is to make sure they're narrow. While you have every right to request 5 years of financials, but what I will tell you with this administration and other administrations that are doing some shady dealings, that's the easiest way for them to tell you no. Oh, 5 years, that's burdensome. We just don't have that. It's not burdensome to ask for 1 month of a bank statement. It's not burdensome to ask for a vendor agreement. So also be strategic with your FOIA request as well. If there's a specific question you want answered, please make sure when you're framing your request that it is very niche and very specific, because you don't want, and not just this administration, but anybody else you want to FOIA, you don't want them to find a loophole to get out.
And burdensome is really not a real response. That's against the Illinois code for them to say that it's burdensome. I actually pulled the statute and emailed it to them, and then they still didn't reply.
And for particular, and thank you for that, because that's an answer that we receive. Oh, it's burdensome. What is burdensome about pulling data that should be already available? That's the issue. Now, when you're requesting the FOIA, it can either be printed or electronic. Most recently, when I did file a FOIA with the city of Harvey, they did send it to me electronically. I did request it to be sent electronically. It was just easier for me to have in my inbox, and I can review when necessary. If this is something that you want printed, you can request that, but again, because we're dealing with a very interesting group of people, you don't want that to be the issue as to why if I FOIA 3 months of bank statements and I get to City Hall, oh, we don't have time to print that. Come back. Now we're starting to. Now I got to chase you. So requesting something in electronic format that can be emailed to you will be the most advantageous. Okay. I'm gonna skip all that here. Okay. So what I can do now is actually, here's a sample request here. Now, and this is just some text that you can get from the BGA website, and you can kind of copy and paste into an email. And so essentially, thank you. So it can be in accordance with the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. I request access to records in your organization's possession related to economic development, including but not limited to, and you can put here, redevelopment agreement with Turlington Homes and the city of Harvey. Y'all just signed off on that, so you should be able to find it. And then you can put this information as well. But again, the most top part is pretty self-explanatory, and then you can just say, I am requesting this to be sent via electronic, via the email that you provide. Now, and then you can also put at the bottom, please provide that information within 5 days as required by law. I believe it's at 5 business days or calendar days. Business days, and it's super important as well, because Saturday and Sunday don't count. So if you submit a FOIA request on Sunday, they may respond. If you submit a FOIA on Saturday, they'll respond Monday. Monday starts the clock. Yep. So then by Friday, they should have some sort of a response, whether they're providing with that documentation or they're telling you it's burdensome.
Or asking for an extension.
Or a request for an extension as well. So again, keep in mind, 5 business days. We always talked about an extension of up to additional 5 business days. So a FOIA request can take anywhere between 5 to 10 business days.
You got the last paragraph.
Oh,
No response.
No response is a denial. Call about requests and keep records of everything, calls, emails, and requests. One thing that's super important that I know Ryan has also done is he created an Excel spreadsheet of all the FOIA requests he's done. And it's super important because you don't want to request something, kind of forget about it, and then you're not either responding or replying like, hey, I submitted a FOIA and I haven't received a response, requesting an update. So keeping a notebook of some sort or an Excel spreadsheet of your FOIA requests will be important as well, especially if you have different questions or something that you're trying to piece together and understand, but you probably would need multiple pieces of information to get that to the answer you're looking for. Okay. What if they deny me? Which can very well happen. They must tell you why. So the response that Ms. Vivian spoke about was burdensome. Or you may hear that information is not available. Why is that information not available? It's very interesting to me. But I can understand if you're asking for a development agreement from 1964. Now, that might not be available. That's understandable. But my personal belief is, as far as financial documents and business documents are concerned, whether it's personal or business, something within the last 5 to 7 years should be something that's searchable and be able to be pulled. Now, if you ask me, you asking for something over 20 some years ago,
They're supposed to house.
they
those
should
in
have
a
it.
warehouse.
It should be
Yeah,
housed
they're supposed to be housed
digitally
in a
or
warehouse.
physically.
Yep.
But again, I can see that, that's burdensome or that's not readily available, which is a way for them to try to get out of providing that information. So, in the event you're denied, now what happens? You can accept it and move on. Or as mentioned, you can request a review within 60 days to the public access counselor, who, again, this is under the Attorney General of Illinois. And you can file an administrative appeal. Or if you got time, you can always file a lawsuit as well, which people have done and have been successful at. Again, because the information that we providing is public.
Harvey World.
Who did it?
Harvey
Please say it.
Harvey World, they just sued.
Harvey World.
Harvey World Herald, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've done that quite a
Because they
few times.
didn't get the information they were requesting.
And thank you for bringing that up. So media,
We should do that
Harvey
with
World
the finance FOIAs. We should sue City of Harvey for not giving us the financial reports.
so there's an option too. So we've seen media, individuals, and collective individuals, residents come together to file a lawsuit when the event of the request that you're making is not being fulfilled. That is an option for you. Now, in the event you're denied and you want to request an appeal, where does it go? Here we go. You will send it to this email address here, which is publicaccess@ilag.gov. You can also mail it to Springfield as well. Again, the importance of this, FOIAs have to be written. So I understand if you like, I want to call them. I'm going to be very honest, they may not answer the phone.
Yeah.
So, but they do have to respond in writing because it is documented and timestamped. So, in the event you're denied and you want to send an appeal, this is where it will go as far as the Illinois Attorney General's office.
Are you gonna email that out to people so they can have that?
Yes, I can. So if you signed up today, when you walked in, we can send you this. Again, this is with the BGA Association, so we can send out this PowerPoint as well, so you can read over it too.
You send out all the alderman's information too?
Yes, I can. So we
I
just
just
give.
sent it to you. I just sent you guys. I just sent to you a slide with all the persons on it.
While she's looking that up, did anybody have any questions about what we just went over as far as FOIAs are concerned? Has anyone ever done a FOIA before? You can raise your hand. Okay, we got some public access folks in the room. Has anyone never done it and possibly are interested? All right, we got one or two. Okay.
Well, it sounds like it's either I'm gonna be outweighted, outpoliticked, or bamboozled.
Not if we all send them
That's why I
together.
have to do it together.
Support me and my family.
No, as a group.
And you know
That's
what?
why we do it as a
With
group.
the
As a
existence
group.
of ChatGPT,
Have to send everybody the same reply.
it'll probably write one for you.
It will.
No, but we can copy and paste and just email it out if
He
everybody.
said very
email
fast.
I mean, we don't even have to do that. Oh, you have it, okay.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying like one formal letter that everybody sends strategically.
Hey, okay.
Yes.
That's your question. Is it possible to send a group FOIA?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what,
That's,
Oh, well.
Class
Well,
action
is it a
FOIA.
minute or something, or just a group for you? Like
But I
class
think the
action?
whole
the
purpose
language
It has
is
to
the
be
same.
individual or what?
The language should be the same no
the
matter
language,
what.
yeah, I do believe it has to be
It's better
individual,
if
I do
it's
not believe
individual.
as a collective.
That's what I was gonna say. The
Yeah.
whole
But-
purpose of it is
Well,
to,
what we're about to bring up now
you
is
know,
there is language
to
that
flood them
everyone
with the
can
request.
use
Right.
Yeah.
that would be acceptable.
Just copy and paste it.
If you get denied and you send something to the public access officer, make sure that they respond to you. They have to respond saying, I have received your request for an investigation. You must get that response from them. If you don't, email them again.
Now, they good at doing that, replying back, it's just they take you forever to get it. And their first thing they do is let you know, we received your request, please wait 3 to 5 business days. Not 3 to 5 business days, we need an extension, then they get an extension. Then when you get what you want, it ain't what you want, now you gotta start it back over again. You know, they do that first, that just buys them time, and that's what they're good at.
I've
I
had
got a question.
varying experiences, but if you get to a point where you feel like they're asking for too many extensions, you can ask for a binding opinion. There's a FOIA lawyer here in Illinois. He only does FOIAs, and you do not need money to request his services, because he gets paid when the village pay you out for not answering your FOIA.
So it's contingent.
That's great.
So,
So my question is this. So I was arrested in June. A false arrest. I was taken from my home, held during the heat wave this year in a room with no windows for 10 hours. My solution to that was to pray. The moment I started to pray and practice my faith, I was then made to be as if I was crazy. I was then taken to Ingalls Memorial Hospital, where I was having a normal reaction to being kidnapped from my home, falsely arrested, which means I was highly upset. They took it upon themselves to then shoot me up with tranquilizers, force medicated me, let me go, no charges. The question is this.
All on film.
Question is this. Now, I placed them on notice for evidence spoilage in case of a pending lawsuit, but they don't have to honor that. So, say for instance, I do this FOIA, and like I said, I was never charged with anything. No court date, no anything. I was simply medicated, and I walked home barefooted. That said, what if they say, we don't have no record of your arrest?
They can't, because you have it on video.
I mean, they can legally because there was no report number generated. So there is a bit of risk, right? But you should FOIA regardless, because
Allow them
there
to
was
tell
a
you
you
no.
should actually FOIA the 911 center for how did they end up at your home?
Because Clark's henchmen. They the same ones that arrested my older woman. So these are police officers that take direct orders from Mayor Clark to go and harass people who dissent, people who disagree with him. And now, my question is only because I'm vocal and I know my rights. How many other people has this happened to? And you know, people, they get shot up with medication and never come back. You know what I'm saying? So it was only because of my knowledge about how those types of drugs operate that I was able to do self-talk to keep my mind from going somewhere else. So that said, if we have this amount of corruption, and what the Bible says is that if you have one corrupt person, there's yet another one who sits higher. than they are that they're answering to, and even him, there's yet another person. So there is somebody who knows exactly what's going on in Harvey,
A lot of people.
and they aren't doing anything about it.
They will soon.
So I'm just,
It's gonna happen.
I would love for you guys to FOIA my arrest. My name is Melissa Crawley. It happened June the 24th. I think it was June 24th.
Email it to us and we'll get that out. Yeah.
Email everybody this information.
So I'm just very concerned that some of the stuff that we will be asking for, they can simply stonewall and say it was never a record of it to begin with.
Dispatch. The dispatch call.
They didn't, they didn't go through this.
Right, because they went straight to her house. Remember,
They
she was
came
on
straight
live.
to my house.
She was on
It
live.
wasn't nothing.
But that's the point, we needed documented that there was no dispatch.
Yeah, that's how we
So
did
they
it.
have to say it wasn't.
And even the collusion with Ingalls.
And
They
also,
have a disrespect for this community.
also the police vehicle should have a GPS.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
and body
So you
cam,
can- yeah, all that.
body cam footage.
Yeah.
and
So
on.
even if, like you said, they,
That's true.
all these different ways to get something occurred and it was documented somewhere by someone. So it was the dispatch, how did you get here?
Yeah.
The body cam, the GPS,
They had to write a report.
well, of course your
somewhere.
hospital records because they're yours, so you can get, incident report. So even if they can say, oh, there was no police report, okay, well, I got a body cam, I got here, you got the ambulance,
Clark video.
you got all
Now, I
of
wanna
these,
tell
you got
y'all,
all
it
of these
was
things,
done.
something occurred. Just because they didn't officially do it doesn't mean all of these don't point to that evidence.
And I want to tell y'all, the manner in which it was done was so casual. So everybody was so on board that it's scary. You know what I'm saying? This could be your child, your mama, it was so scary that how here I am tracking. I sit on 3 hospital boards for patient advocacy, and they've since distanced themselves from me because it would mean holding their constituents accountable. And to have someone do that to you in such a casual manner, I don't think that we as citizens even really understand the type of danger
That's the type of evil
that we
you
are
don't
in.
understand.
You know, we have vulnerable people in our community who can't speak for themselves. And I believe that the reason that happened to me, and we laugh and we joke amongst my friends about my missing tooth, but I lost my tooth in April. So when people perceive you to be a certain way until you open your mouth, and they able to see that you're articulate, which I don't believe that articulation is a measure of intelligence, because I don't think there's plenty of intelligent people who can't say what they feel, who can't articulate what they feel, but it makes them no less intelligent. And I'm saying that to say, just because we see vulnerable people on drugs and stuff that come in our community, that don't mean that they lack love, that they lack knowledge, that they, you know,
And that you can treat them anyway.
that you could treat them any kind of way. But if we got all the people who are willing to just disregard.
But you see how they let Jedediah Brown run around. Did anybody even know that what the merits around Jedediah Brown?
Hold on, I'm sorry, guys, because we're over, we're over time.
Go ahead.
Sorry, guys, I want to hold everyone's time. So this, what we're looking at now is a list of aldermen. The first ward is Alderman Jurinski. The second ward is Kobe Chapman. The third ward is Delaney Smith. The fourth ward, Tracy Key. The
Change
fifth
my
ward,
number too. If you can't change it on there, but I'd rather be called for my cell phone number because my cell phone, I believe they be hacking in. So I'm not gonna be, I don't even answer that phone.
and then the fifth ward is
Anybody want my number?
Dominique,
708-642-1193.
I got you.
and then sixth ward, Alderman Rogers. So all of these emails is their City of Harvey email, so they're supposed to be, responding to that as well.
Are those landlines for the 990 numbers or the cell
I believe
phones?
so.
Okay.
I believe they're on the landline.
They hack lines.
So, if you don't know, so we
I've been here long enough to
So
know.
here's some, FOIA questions to ask if you don't know what to ask, or maybe just to kind of gauge your mind. And so what you can ask, number one, financial records, follow the money. These are, and this is verbiage that you can literally copy and paste into your request. Payroll and overtime, how much are people getting paid? Layoff, staffing and public safety. What are the layoff notices? We just saw them lay people off. Governance, meetings, and transparency. Any city council meeting and or committee meetings that you would like to see. Now, I will say the website does have city council meetings. The finance committee meeting agenda and notes are not readily available. Even if you were to physically go to the meeting, they may have printed agenda, they may have not. And even after that meeting, that agenda is not available. So just to want to give you a heads up. So the overall city council meeting notes and agenda is on the website for the most part, but the subcommittees, economic development, finance, those things are not available. Water fund and infrastructure. What is the water fund revenue for this year? So these are things that you can request through FOIA. If you don't know what to ask, here's a great starting point. Now, how do you FOIA? You can go to the City of Harvey website. I'm going to click here so you can see where it is. So, if you even was to go to the City of Harvey website, the link we'll send out takes you right here. Okay. So now you go here. To submit a FOIA request, you can click here.
Just so y'all can see. Everybody know how to get to the website, right?
Yeah. So now it's only in the portal that you can submit them?
No, you could go with.
You can still, yep.
But we want.
No, that's what I mean. Oh,
Can everybody get their phone?
Yeah,
We want to
You can
submit a
email
FOIA
too.
tonight, you all. We want everybody, sir, before you go, sir, we'd love for you to submit a FOIA with us.
Not a problem.
Okay. So if everybody could get their cell phone out. City of Harvey, il.gov. And we had those sweat, and I don't mean to interrupt, but we want to make sure that before you leave today, that everybody's submitted
Okay.
a FOIA.
So,
It could be the same thing or something.
even if it's just one thing, we can decide what that one thing is that we all can collectively do together. And if you do more after this, that's awesome. But let's just start as something collectively we can do together. So, raise your hand if you want something finance related. That's pretty much everyone. All right.
Finance it is.
Okay.
Everybody got their phone out, City of Harvey.
Finance related.
il.gov.
Okay, subset of that. Would we like a bank statement or a contract? What would we like to FOIA?
We want to see the bank
Bank
statement.
statements, 'cause
Bank statement.
that's true.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing, when you do
I like
too much,
the
that's
bank
how they start.
statement.
Okay, bank
Bank
statement.
City of Harvey job.
Go underneath Office of the Clerk. I'm sorry.
The IL.gov.
So, do we want to FOIA,
It's under elected officials.
Aisha, is it Harvey General Fund, October? Is that the name of the account?
Elected officials.
I can't even say.
Office of the clerk.
Okay. So how does everyone feel about FOIA
Okay, I know her
October
face.
2025 bank statement related to the Harvey General Fund?
You said the what?
October 2025 bank statement for the Harvey General Fund.
We're gonna walk it through. So we all saying the same thing on the FOIA.
So I don't know if it's different on the phone, but I don't
Yeah,
see
it's
FOIA.
different.
Go, scroll down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
you see,
that's
Maybe
Yeah, there you go.
submit a request.
You gotta create an account too.
Okay. So, you
They
know
throw
what?
up all
We can
type
just
of
do the
barriers.
email. Okay, so here's how it goes.
It should be
So
fine.
the last time I FOIA, I had not created a public records account like what you guys can see here. But we can't, does everyone have
You
their
go to how do
email?
I, if you on mobile, go to how do I, and then,
But see, I have a login, that's what I'm saying. If you wanna do just the email, that's an easy way for everybody to do it tonight, as opposed to going to the website, creating the login, then doing it. Is that cool with everyone?
So we just gonna use the clerk's email.
You can't email the clerk,
If you
yeah.
notice the
You
computer,
do not have to use it.
when you log in on the laptop,
direct
they give you a whole different navigation when you're on the cell phone.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. It shows different. Unless you press one thing, you all messed up on the cell phone.
here it is.
But you can, if you wanna watch it through the email, you can email the clerk.
That's what I was gonna say, I think the email would be easier as opposed to create the login, and then it might be extra steps.
Because I already have a login.
Yeah, me too. Even if you already do, you can log in. I mean, you can send an email, they're gonna direct you to your login, yes.
Why are we only doing it for October? If everybody chooses a month, then we can get the whole year.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, so what happens is when you request all of that information, that's the easy way for them to say that it's too burdensome.
Oh, so
No, he's saying if we all requested a different month, each of us, one from January, somebody might do one from February.
and then we
might-
just share it.
And we can share it,
I see what you're saying.
break it down.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Mr. Atchison.
Mr. Atkinson brought up, if is it 12 people in the room? Yeah. If everybody, requests a different month of the bank statement for the Harvey
Come on.
General Fund.
Shout out to the governor.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so 12,
That's perfect.
what we wanna start?
So who
Okay, we'll
January?
start January.
I take February, that's my birthday.
February, take March.
I have an account, but I don't know my password. I have to look it up. I
Okay.
have to look it. I don't know about.
We gonna send it to the email right now. Just send it to the clerk's email for now.
Okay. Well, I'm in our conversation. I was saying.
April.
We're gonna write the template.
April.
Okay.
Oh, we need May. I'm on May. May.
So we're gonna email it to city.
May,
and City of
June.
Harvey.
Alright.
Who's
No,
gonna do
so,
June?
and another thing, let me.
I do February and
Don't
June.
forget, we haven't gotten to November and December yet. So we only have 10 months.
Okay.
And he been working the meeting.
Well, November.
You could go back 2 years though.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, you know what, we should say then, we should say, we want for 2023 to 2025 January, 2023 to 2025 February.
That might be,
They gonna duck that.
Okay, yeah, y'all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's they gonna call that.
You
part
work
of
on
the
these
office.
birds.
already in the mindset.
You said what?
But if you
I thought you
say
worked in the office.
January 23, January 24, and January 25,
Yeah.
how burdensome is
Yeah.
that?
Because
it's just the January, yeah.
Right.
Well, then that means whatever month that you're assigned to,
Right.
you would ask that.
Right.
For the
Okay.
different years, okay.
Yep.
So if I'm taking February, I'm gonna ask for February 23, 24, and 25.
Did everybody see, you know, I think we should send it to both. We should send it to our Arambula, like it says up here. R as in Randy, A as in Alpha, R as in Randy, A as in Alpha, M as in man, B as in boy, U, I hate to use the word ugly, but U as in ugly.
Umbrella.
There we go, umbrella. That was good, you know. L as in Larry, A as in Apple, and City of Harvey, IL.gov, but I think we should also put the other one, cause then they
Yeah, I
said, well, we
think.
didn't get the, what was the email address up there?
Anybody did not sign the sign-in sheet?
Anybody else need to sign? Hey, Ramona, I ain't
It
gonna
was
there.
City World.
Been here.
Has anybody
Yeah,
not
you-
signed the sign-in sheet that needs to?
Because I saw what's the difference.
So we see our Arambula, everybody got that?
It's right over
Our
here. if you have it.
Arambula,
Mr. Derek, what you say?
I need you to.
I got it, now I got it bigger.
Email, 'cause then we're gonna type it
Oh,
in.
thank you. Everybody see that?
And then,
I could see her on here.
He come to our graduation. I don't know if we should be talking about it.
The clerk also
First of all, I was in class first, I always part of
coordinated with our register of elections, final election work.
Everybody got that?
And I'm still typing R-A-R-A-M.
A lot of rah-rah.
M-L-A.
At City of Harvey, IL.gov. And
oh, wait.
City of Harvey, IL.gov. But we also need to put another email address on there, and that's this one, because that's the one listed on the website.
I left off at June. Oh, wait, Melissa, you said June.
You said city of
I'ma
Harvey.
do February and June.
City of
Well, I
Harvey,
was-
I
okay,
am.
May, June, then we had July.
City of
I
Harvey.
am.
I thought.
You said August.
City clerk called me.
July. You got July.
But Amanda, I'm
Who has
going
August?
for July.
Right here, D-Love said.
Oh, July, August, we got September.
So this is the other
I'll
email
take
address,
September.
in addition to the R around your little sheet, I also put,
Hey, D-Love.
the other.
D-Love.
Hey,
Let me see those two.
At City of Harvey.
But we got city clerk, right? Did we get that one?
Every one of my followers, all of y'all do a FOIA too, please. Thank you.
Okay, yes, promote Ameria.
Miss Sher already did her.
Call
You
this a
heard.
FOIA
You-
party.
You heard Miss Kim on the queue. If you're watching, go do a FOIA now. Go do a FOIA.
I don't know what one thing we're requesting yet, but,
Okay. Oh, so we go back to.
That's what I'm trying to get back in my email.
Where's the?
Cause these cell phone, I'm pretty sure y'all getting all kind of stuff popping up on there, ain't it?
And I want to remind everybody that ChatGPT is a wonderful tool. Especially if you are already a natural writer, naturally gifted, it really is a tool to help you improve your writing.
Yeah, but it lacks soul.
Oh, it's a way that you can shape your, it's a way you can shape your commands to make it sound more human. Yeah, it's a way you
You
can
just
do
tell
it.
it to make it sound like, I always say, make it, write it in my voice.
Right.
That's what I tell it, and it'll write it like I talk.
And then the way I frame mine, I tell them, I don't want you to think for me, I'm thinking for myself. I just need you to
Don't change my words,
Yeah.
just put it into the, I'm like, I made some raps, I made like 7 community raps. They're so cold, I'm trying to get in the studio now, so I can go in there. I just need to find
Somebody around here gonna tell them.
Go
I'm so proud of you. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
They gonna deny everybody's.
Okay,
Too many people. You talking about soon as we leave that one, you gonna know we
Get out the door.
And it's not.
might be watching, right?
Watch your back.
Is it best to send it to the mayor's office and others?
No, it would just be better to send it to, the clerk. City clerk and city of Harvey.org or our remote. Oh, yes. The type of records you request. Oh, I see what you're saying, okay. Okay, one second. For those of you that have logged in to the, records request, and you're selecting bank statements, and you select the mayor's office for bank statements, because financial records is not listed.
Right.
So I would select other. Okay.
Cover your bases. Cover your bases.
Or, oh no, regularly, they're going to send you an email saying your documents are ready to have a login. So you're gonna have to create a login regardless, but again, allow them to send it to you and then at that time. Okay. Oh, to make it easy for everyone.
I just want to share something right before, please, Miss Mahone, before you go, I just want y'all to know that this like Harvey royalty.
Yep.
Right, Miss
Yep,
Mahone.
right here,
I just want y'all to know that it was, I'll never forget meeting her and her husband at the Harvey Library.
Not me, her.
Yes, that's her son.
Yep.
But how much they fought, right? If you look at a YouTube documentary called Forgotten Illinois, it's Miss Mahone and her husband that were at the forefront of the change that was coming from the previous administration into this administration.
Awesome.
And thank you for your service. I appreciate that you're
Thank
Black history. Black history. Tell them you looking for them cars in the mailbox. Not no empty ones either.
What date do that?
June. I want to say it was 24.
Police department.
You remember, was it June 24th? Is it a way for you to look back to kind of gauge what day my race? I can't find that they delete the videos after 30 days. They do that now. After 30 days.
You need to forward.
Live. The live are deleted.
You need to forward the website for the list of officers that was on duty the night.
Well, I know who it was. It was Magana and
For the records, this is what you
yeah.
need to forward, right?
So basically what we have put here is to whom
Yeah,
it
it's
may
158.
concern. In accordance with the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, parentheses, number 5, ILCS 140 in apostrophe, I request access to the records in your organization's possession related to, and you can just put findings.
I'll take a picture.
Including, but not limited to, September, I'm doing September.
It was
So, September
Magana
23 bank
and
statement of Harvey General Fund, September 2024 bank statement of Harvey General Fund, September 2025 bank statement
it was
of
Magana
Harvey
and
General
Brazil
Fund.
that arrested.
That's 3 documents, 3 statements.
Officer Brazil.
And then please provide the information within 5 days as required by law. If the records are kept
And I filed
electronically,
a,
please provide them that way. Thanks, and then.
Internal Affairs complaint
Okay,
too,
I have a question.
Yes.
that
I
they
don't know
didn't
if it's just a matter
respond
of
to.
semantics. Should we change, accessing records in?
Magana. How do you spell Magana's name?
Yes, I request access
Something like
to
that.
records in the.
And Brazil.
Spelled like
Like the,
I don't know if it's
country
I don't know
or
if they could
yeah.
use that as a technicality or.
Basically, you just trying to narrow everything
You
out
got
to
the
get a
best
prime
on there
point.
already. Okay,
I'm
I'm so
gonna say
sorry.
it was the
Switching it up a little bit.
24th of June.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, they'll use that. If it's the wrong date, get it back. It does not.
Okay, let me go in my, see if I can find out some type of way.
Okay, and then I should do this for the police department.
For the police department, I don't think Ingles, we can't get nothing from Ingles. You can ask for something for, from Bud's Ambulatory. So,
Oh, you're bad for that.
yeah.
Kentucky had, what's that, the volleyball team?
You're asking for specifics. Yeah, I want to be as specific as I can. So that's just September general.
And is that all we want?
And if he made that call on his cell phone to send them to my house, that's FOIA-able too.
We don't want the bank statements for all of Harvey's accounts,
That's burdensome.
but for just 1 month?
Yeah. I'm getting
How many
for
bank-
4
how many
years.
statements do we have?
And it's funny that y'all asking for GPS,
No,
cause
that's
guess
what
what?
I'm saying. Is it
It wasn't no
burdensome to
police
ask
car
for
on
all
the
of the bank
scene
statements
Yes.
when they
for 1
pulled
month?
up.
It wasn't.
They had to call a
I don't
police
think so,
car.
because it's 3.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
come to
asking,
get me.
how many banks, how many banks?
They walked me down the street.
There's one account, and I want one statement from each of these years.
Right.
Now, I know we got
Only
flock
getting it for the
cameras
general fund. So what
on-
if the general fund account is in
front side of
Chase,
my block
but then
and
the
on the
legal
back
and everything
side,
else
so.
is in
Well, there's a police scanner website
BMO.
that holds
And
Right.
then
police
they-
But we don't know that
check
until we get it.
report.
But that's what I'm saying,
So
we're
you can
only
go to
asking
your
for the
specific
general
day.
fund account.
Just for now,
Lord of
just for
Harvey.
now. If we,
Then we'll,
You gotta send me that.
add
I
more
got-
once we
Okay,
get
so that's
that.
what I'm asking.
Put it
So
in
we're
our
only
group
asking
chat.
for the general
Yeah.
fund right now,
Yes.
and then we'll ask for,
Once we start putting the puzzle together, because we really don't know.
yeah, do we know how the bank
2675.
statements fall out?
What do you mean fall out?
Like, cause I know that there's more than one, so which one is gonna give us the biggest bang for our buck? Okay, that's it, that's all I
I
need.
need all of y'all to go to my community page post
I mean, does anybody need help,
and look at the last post.
I'm gonna do mine when I go
Sorry.
to
Conscious, if you go on here and you go
I'm gonna have
to
chat GPT, cause I wanna do it on my laptop instead of my phone.
Oh, yeah, and that'd be easy. For the kids,
No.
Right.
My glasses, I actually got a stronger prescription. This is where I'm going.
in conjunction with all the other YouTubers came together.
Once
And that's
all
what
of
I
I
the
feel like I talked to you
records
before.
and all that, but when you do the records, you get every sheet, that means it's called.
Because they're just the ones
And after that, you get the incident. And that's per officer, per state, bro. 5 different.
I tell you, I feel like I talked to you. What you see me at the police station? Oh, you was there, well, why you ain't set me free, young man? Don't tell me you see me and then get me. Why you ain't get me? They said thank you, you tried it. I was about to say, don't see me in there, don't try to give me a job.
They gonna tell you.
I mean,
You gonna
13
give their people.
Some days, Joe, you don't know, it might come straight
and all of the things
My other came straight from Martin. That's what got the checks, you know.
Okay, are we done?
Well, it was, she'll give them. She'll give them.
All right, guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging in till the end.
to go to the gift list.
Oh, sorry, I thought maybe they were done. I'm not sure if they're probably done yet.
It's a FOIA form.
Okay.
Man, everything.
Just find it in your heart.
Man.
On YouTube. You'll see a page that talks about click the
Do it at YouTube.
Yeah.
And they said that they'll email, I guess, instructions. Or you can just go to the DA website.
click on post, you'll see it, it'll come up like that. Two toy drives in Harvey, one toy drive, and one in Durham.
I'm getting close, I'll tell you.
So thank you guys for joining. Please.
But this is good. This is good. I mean, I hope it helps you.
Yes.
It helps. So.
Send it on.
So how do you think?
You don't have to use your name. You can use Mr. White, Miss White. I don't care what you use.
Alright guys, thanks for joining. I'm going to sign off for now. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, please like, share, subscribe. Your support is appreciated. If you have any FOIA questions, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. I do a fair number of FOIAs, so we probably should be able to help you. But as Amanda said, the Better Government Association website is a great resource, and they'll tell you how to do FOIAs as well. Alright, thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
I'm gonna cut your nose off. What time you vote for me? And then